for another major loss when one of their most respected members, Big A, was shot and killed in a restaurant near O'Block. Perhaps it was the murder of Big A, who was a close friend of T.Roy, that would make T.Roy get active in the streets again. On the 14th of February 2017, T.Roy would be lurking again, this time in the South Shore neighborhood on the east side, more specifically on East 71st Street. The rumor being that T.Roy was looking for an op called TB, or Terry Barry, who belonged to the rival set Taekwon World from the West Woodlawn neighborhood. Only a few minutes later, two men would approach the store from the same direction, with one of them stopping to tie his shoelaces, as if knowing that he would soon have to go on the run. These two men are lurking outside the store. Finally, those two men would enter the store, walking directly to T.Roy and his friend, with the first man seemingly acting as a diversion, preventing T.Roy from noticing that the second man was approaching with a gun.
These exotic boys, smoke exotic ops. You ain't heard about murder boys, we got exotic glocks. Tied to pull up real fast, with a lot of shots. Bitch, I'm feeling just like Mac, I got a lot of guap.
What up, Mula gang? It's your boy Mac Mula, aka Mr. Mula Mac, and I'm back with another video. Y'all know how we rock. Man, I ain't gotta finish that shit. Y'all can finish it for y'all self, cause y'all know it, though. Oh, I got that thwanky on me right now. Go ahead and smack it, folks. Sharing is caring, shorty, and I care about you. So smack the thwank. Stop playing with me. Smack the thwank. Indulge in that shit. Let's get into the video. The death of T.Roy. T.Roy!
Later in 2014, the deathly trio, Von, T.Roy,
and D-Rose
will get locked up again on different occasions. But while T.Roy would eventually be back on the streets for a period of time in 2014, this wouldn't be the case for Von, who would get charged for the murder of Malcolm Stuckey in July, only months after allegedly killing female shooter K.I., with Von remaining in jail and fighting the Malcolm Stuckey murder case for several years until the end of 2017. Von would end up beating those charges, but D-Rose wouldn't be so lucky, as he would not only be charged for the murder of Denzel Richardson in April, but eventually he would be found guilty for that murder.
And that's crazy because all the streets in Chicago know D-Rose was one of them. You know what I'm saying? D-Rose, murdering Dunbar. Oh, he was a freshman. All right, they saying he went to Dunbar, but everybody know D-Rose was a member. Like everybody know D-Rose was a savage, but everybody also know that D-Rose didn't kill, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how he ended up in that jam. What probably happened was the police knew that he was catching bodies, and they just couldn't put they couldn't convict him on what he really did, so they found a way to convict him on some he didn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Being sentenced to a monster bid of 40 years in jail. Perhaps it was the fate of these two that would make T.Roy calm down a little bit.
Crazy.
Because after the murder of Lil Mark, there wouldn't be any more bodies that have commonly been pinned on him in online rumors. And unfortunately, the next murder associated with his name would be the murder of T.Roy himself. In 2015, T.Roy would be arrested and charged with unlawful use of a weapon, among other charges, and he would reportedly spend over a year in jail. And at the end of 2016, O'Block would suffer another major loss when one of their most respected members, Big A, was shot and killed in a restaurant near O'Block. Perhaps it was the murder of Big A, who was a close friend of T.Roy, that would make T.Roy get active in the streets again.
Pause. Listen, I have a mentorship called the Mula Membership, where I'm going to teach you how to get rich with business, YouTube, crypto, stocks, financial literacy, credit, every single way. Now, I became a millionaire by the time I was 23 years old. I'm going to teach you step by step for only $50. Click the first link in the description right now and get added to my group chat, where I'm going to give you one-on-one help to make sure you get rich in 2024. Click it right now. Stop tweaking, because we got very, very, very limited spots, and I don't want you to miss this bag.
Or perhaps, more likely, we simply will never know all of the dirt that T.Roy was doing in the streets by himself, rolling solo, while his right-hand man, King Von, was fighting his murder case.
Right.
But whatever the case, only a few months after the death of Big A, on the 14th of February 2017, T.Roy would be lurking again, this time in the South Shore neighborhood on the east side, more specifically on East 71st Street. The rumor being that T.Roy was looking for an op called TB, or Terry Barry, who belonged to the rival set Taekwon World from the West Woodlawn neighborhood. TB was known to hang out at that location and even had pictures of himself in front of the stores.
Oh, they said he was out there looking for TB? T.Roy was out there looking for TB.
Had actually upped his gun or even shot at TB and his friends earlier that very day. Particularly after a member of Taekwon World called 2 Times would put out a remix of King Von's song Crazy Story, with many arguing that he's actually describing the events of that day. Whatever the case, from the now available security camera footage, we can see that around 11:50 AM, T.Roy would enter a grocery store on 71st Street,
who was
together
he with
another person who he had apparently met just moments earlier. Interestingly,
he had just met that nigga?
This person would later tell the police that T.Roy had told him about an encounter that he had on that street earlier on, with someone apparently asking T.Roy, "What are you about?" Only a few minutes later, two men would approach the store from the same direction, with one of them stopping to tie his shoelaces, as if knowing that he would soon have to go on the run. Meanwhile, T.Roy is walking around and talking with his friend in a cold storage aisle, unaware that these two men are lurking outside the store. Finally, those two men would enter the store, walking directly to T.Roy.
Wait, was that them? So that wasn't them right there? He might have looked out the window and saw him. Because you see him stop, and he looked up, and he like had to think about some like,
unaware.
He stopped right there like, oh.
These two men are lurking outside the store. Finally, those two men would enter
T.Roy
the store,
right here,
walking directly to T.Roy and his friend, with the first man seemingly acting as a diversion, preventing T.Roy from noticing that the second man was approaching with a gun. That second man would then pull the gun out, shooting T.Roy once in the chest, before both men run out of the store and escaped
he shot
the way
him one
they
time
came
and
from.
ran.
Meanwhile, T.Roy crawls behind the clerk's counter while throwing his own gun under one of the shelves, whilst his friend seemingly runs out of the store. The friend would then return and attempt to help T.Roy together with the store clerk, but for several minutes, T.Roy can be seen laying on the floor alone without anyone doing any of the basic first aid measures, such as applying pressure to the wound.
That's how a lot of shit be, though.
Keep him awake that might have saved him. Finally, police and emergency services arrive to the scene and begin helping T.Roy.
One thing about it, bro, and especially in Chicago, nigga, the police and the paramedics is not coming that quick. I promise you they not. You know what I'm saying? And the police don't care nothing about saving your life. The police care about catching who they gotta catch. Because at the end of the day, if they catch somebody for a murder, they rank up. They don't care about saving your life. You know what I'm saying? And even a lot of police catching somebody for a murder is a lot better than catching them for an attempt. So you think he care about your life? No. And the ambulance not gonna get there till the police get there, sit back, look, scan, and figure out that it's safe. Then the ambulance gonna come, and by then your ass halfway smoked. Like, oh God, nigga, they don't care for real.
While the store clerk begins to explain to the police what had happened. And eventually, T.Roy is carried out of the store and taken to a hospital, where he would unfortunately pass away. Soon, the news of T.Roy's passing would reach the other members of the O-Block Alliance, and members would be devastated. Especially King Von, who would be crushed by the news while still in jail.
Oh, I mean, these are what they talk to, man.
Fighting his case. And Von would later explain, breaking down on that day.
Yeah, he said he heard that and broke the down.
He first heard the news of T.Roy's demise.
You know, I mean, I'm gonna figure this shit out. It'd be cool out there. I call folks. It's like, this on like Valentine's Day, you see what I'm saying? I call folks, I'm calling, I call. Now, I call my mom. My mama call. Now we try to call T.Roy, she ain't answer. We try to call T.Roy, he ain't answer. I went. Nah. What I do? I gotta call somebody. I probably call her or something. I call her Zaria, so I call her something. I call her. Then, wham, I call my mama back. And she crying and shit. Ma, what you crying for? You good?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ooh, they shot T.Roy. T.Roy got, what? Ooh, what? Oh, look at the phone. You know how that shit go, you in jail, you can tell, hold on, what?
Oh God, that's jail yeah.
Now we call.
I can only imagine, like, you in jail, it ain't nothing you can do. You don't even know what's going on. You can't really, like, nigga, you call somebody and they don't answer, that's all you can do. You can't pull up to their house. You can't call your, like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
when we calling them out, what's going on? You got hit, you got hit once, some shit. What the fuck going on out there? I'm T.Roy, got shot. Look, this is the thing, y'all don't know T.Roy. Y'all gotta leave our history of T.Roy, y'all don't know. T.Roy got to go further. That's T.Roy. That's T.Roy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know T.Roy like I know T.Roy, you know what I'm saying? So when I hear he gets shot on, he don't want to talk me like, don't be lacking, don't be, don't be, you know?
Yeah.
He was telling me he's on each other, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we back to back with my boy, you know what I'm saying? Folks got shot. I said, hold on. I said, the streets, hold on. Who got shot? Who? Nah, he a gangster. He got shot before. He a gangster.
Oh, he got shot before that. Before
folks ain't make it on phone him out. I play it out, you know me. You know, you gotta play it out. You in jail, so all type of goof ass around. You know, these 30
yeah.
All of your business on King David. I walk it off. I let it do it, you know. Now my homie from out west, Willie D and them and Junior on phone them. I put the hard on King David. Same game. Now they see me, I'm just walking around in circles on the deck, you know. And they put their arm around me. When I'm like, damn, you good, bro? You good? What's wrong with you, Vaughn? Yeah, I'm good. Ooh, what's wrong? You got a phone, man? I'm good, you know. They what happened? I mean, they just killed T.Roy. Ooh, he what? I'm T.Roy. They just killed T. Roy. I got to break
Broke
it down.
down when you said that shit, oh God. That's
I
crazy.
couldn't help it. They hugging me. These some real niggas. You know what I'm saying? We grown men.
Grown
Both grab me
men.
the hug.
Grown men in jail full of other grown men, nigga crying on another grown man. You know what I'm saying? Real nigga shit though. Cause you in jail for ain't nothing else. You ain't got nothing else. You ain't got no grandma, no mama, no cousin, no auntie, none of that. You ain't got nothing else, folks. You know what I'm saying? It's either that or go in the cell and cry by yourself. You feel me? But when you got niggas like, what's wrong with you, folks? Like, you good, and you trying to play it off. It's only so much playing you can do.
Get the you gonna be alright, shorty. You gonna be alright. Oh, hold on, boy. That's my best friend, boy. Somebody just killed my best friend while I'm in jail. I'm in that bitch finna go crazy. Oh, I'm in that bitch. Don't know what's going on. I'm in that bitch in that. Who the fuck is y'all? I'm in that bitch mad on. Oh yeah, I'm in that bitch in that. Nah, not my best friend. You know what I'm saying?
T.Roy's old friend Chief Keef would also tweet about him paying homage on Twitter following his passing. Although he had been estranged from many of his old O-Block friends due to events that had taken place years earlier while Keef was still living in Chicago, where O-Block veteran Boss Top was accused of robbing Keef's house. The fact that Keef still paid homage to T.Roy in spite of everything that had gone on with O-Block just showed how much of an impact T.Roy had had on Keef, the true pioneer of Chicago drill music. Meanwhile, following the murder, T.Roy's enemies would be reacting with glee.
You know they loved it.
Who would react to T.Roy's death live on Instagram in what many have considered to have been a fake reaction, with the rumour being that Duck's brother, FBG Brick, who can actually be heard speaking in the background of this video, had in fact been the person who gave T.Roy's location to his killers.
Look on them out here going good. They so happy. He been playing. I know folks know. Proud. They got him out the way. I know.
See?
I'm on live, G. Shut the f up.
And when niggas say shit like that, shorty, like, that's how you know T.Roy was a problem. That's why they talking like, well, I know they happy they he's up out of there. You know what I'm saying? I know them niggas ecstatic, super happy on bro, cause they know. That nigga was crazy.
Before you even get it, it just came on. But still, it's Instagram. It deleted instantly. It just came on. But G don't stop till get killed, till get spilled. Damn, they on here talking about what you think about T.Roy getting popped. T.Roy got popped? When that happened?
He tried to act like hell no. He was just talking about it.
Somebody popped. Is he dead? Is he dead? Did he die? How much did they pop T.Roy? It must don't be. It must ain't that important. It ain't all over the internet. I ain't seen it. He must not be dead.
Surprisingly, even with all of the high-quality security camera footage that the police had, they would ultimately struggle to find the identities of the killers for years, until finally in the fall of 2018, they would have a breakthrough after a member of the Gang Investigations Unit made a positive identification on both men. They would recognize the shooter as Terry Barry, better known as TB, the very man that T.Roy had allegedly been hunting on the day of his death, while his accomplice would allegedly be identified as DeAndre Wallace, better known as Tuckerville Man or Get Right. However, by this point, it was already too late, because both men had already died, falling victims to gun violence, just like T.Roy.
I told y'all this is what Chicago do. This is what they do. They wait until you die. They already know. 9 out of 10, they know who killed who. Police ain't that slow. They slow, but they ain't that slow. A lot of times they figure this shit out. It's just not enough evidence. They ain't got enough money and funding. Whatever the reason is, it's not enough evidence for them to be like, okay, this nigga definitely did it. We could take him to trial. So they just wait till you die, and then they release. We came to the conclusion that he did it, but he did. I know, but we solved the case though, right? That's how they is. It's crazy.
Their deaths so soon after the murder of T.Roy would make many convinced that their deaths were directly related to T.Roy's murder, as seemingly foretold by the ominous tweet by Booker600 after T.Roy's death, but more about this later. After still frames and videos from the security cameras would become available publicly, revealing the killer's clothing, the internet sleuths would quickly recognize what was really going on. It would turn out that these were the very same clothes that TB and Man had worn in pictures posted on their social media earlier that same month. They also dig up an old tweet from TB.
If you know anything about nigga in the hood, we is not flea. You hear me? We got 4 pants, 3, 4, 5 clean pair of shoes. The other ones f***ed up. Let's not act crazy, shorty. This how I be in the hood. We got like 3, 4 shirts. We rotating them bitches. We really only got like 4 fits. Bro, we got like 4 fits we could wear. Like, so that's them. Don't get that up. That's them. Clear as day. And the streets, 9 times out of 10, the streets knew before the police ever could know. Because a nigga from O Block who grew up with these niggas, who been hunting these niggas for I don't know how long, they know how they walk, they know how they stand, they know what they mannerisms, all that. So it ain't hard for a nigga to figure that out, gang. Ain't no coincidence that these 2 niggas together wearing the exact same
Pictures
clothes.
posted on their
Look at the sleeves. The exact same clothes. Literally. I'm pretty sure these the same sweatpants he got on. This the same hat. You get what I'm saying? This is definitely the same exact hoodie on the guys. Same shoes probably, like, gang. It's clear as day that was them.
social media earlier that same month. They would also dig up an old tweet from TB in 2015 where he would seemingly predict T.Roy's death by his own hand, as well as creepy posts from T.Roy's Twitter account that TB had retweeted.
Just because you're right doesn't mean I'm wrong, and just haven't seen life from my position.
After killing him. The murder of T.Roy by Terry Barry was brutal, but it was nothing compared to what would transpire over the rest of the year.
And remember 2015, that was probably, honestly, I don't know if that was the worst it got, but it was bad. Because 2011, 2012 is when shit popped off. That's when JoJo and all that, that's when like the war kicked off. But by 2014, 15, it was full out war. Like, niggas knew who was on what side. Niggas knew where not to go. Niggas knew all that. You get what I'm saying? So, I can only imagine that was crazy. Especially the summertime. You know, summertime when nigga outside. In Chicago, it's cold all year. It's probably cold right now. Hold on. Let me live check this on the guys. Look, it's 70. It just started getting 70. It's 71 degrees in Chicago right now. It's May 2nd. So, from really, and it's gonna get cold. Don't get it up. It's gonna be days where it's 50 still, 45 sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not up until June. You got June to like September, August, September. Them the only months it's hot in Iraq. So when it's hot outside in the summer, that's when the nigga. First of all, if you in high school, you're not in school. So in summertime, that's when nigga outside. He on the block with it. He would throw them on this other block. He outside getting little chicken fingers and hair overs and shit. You feel it? He at the barbecue with the hoes. They got block parties outside. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's cracking. So it ain't like California or Miami where it's hot all year. No. Chicago cold as Don't get it up. Niggas still get caught lacking because you still got to come outside and do shit. So niggas still get killed a lot in the wintertime. But in the summer, everybody know, boy, if you ain't got no gun, nigga, you buying a gun just for the summer. Everybody in Chicago know that. You know what I'm saying? And you just pray it ain't your people. But you know a lot of niggas gonna get smoked. You got Labor Day, 4th of July, what's the other Memorial Day. That's pretty much, ain't that all in the summertime? Like, come on, gang.